Did you know that this Japanese airport is sinking? Or that Saudi Arabia is building a giant theme park city? In today's video, we will be covering the most mind-boggling projects around the world and how they will shape our future. And as we move down the list, the projects will only get bigger and more expensive than ever before. First up, we are starting with a $500 million project. Dubai is building the tallest hotel in the world known as Cel Marina. At a remarkable height of 365 meters, the hotel will have 1,000 rooms spread across 82 floors. It's spearheaded by a man who has already made his mark in Dubai, Yahya Jahan. His company is behind some of the most iconic projects like the Atlantis and Shangri-La hotels. The previous record was held by a hotel known as Gevora Hotel. This hotel is also based in Dubai, located along the famous Sheikh Zayed Road. This shouldn't come as a surprise, as 7 of the world's tallest hotels are inside Dubai. The newest addition to the list is Ciel, which is set to open in 2025. Ciel is going to be 9 meters taller than Gevora, which stands at 356 meters. The hotel is located in Dubai Marina, a small district measuring only 4 square kilometers. Despite its modest size, the area is home to hundreds of high-rises and luxury projects. The marina is considered an artificial canal city as it's built on reclaimed land from the Persian Gulf. Building the tallest hotel in a small district is no easy task. The designers were given a triangular plot of land measuring just 2,500 square meters. Dubai suffers from a lack of space, much like London or Manhattan. For the most part, it had to rely on land reclaimed from the Persian Gulf. To solve the space issue, Ciel Hotel will have a spindle shape upon completion. To beat the hot climate, Ciel will feature a vertical green space in the middle of the tower. This green atrium will be continuous on all floors and will extend to 300 meters. The glass facade of the tower is built in such a way that it allows cool air to come in. These measures will reduce the building's dependence on artificial air conditioning. That's why Ciel will consume 25% less energy for air conditioning. The hotel will be home to 3 restaurants and Dubai's highest infinity pool. Its observatory and lounge will be high up on the 81st floor, offering uninterrupted views of the marina. It will also feature a fitness center, a luxury spa, and a health club. Through its glass observation deck, residents can enjoy stunning views of Palm Jumeirah, the man-made islands of Dubai. Ciel has partnered with IHG Hotel and Resorts, one of the world's leading hotel companies with 6,000 plus hotels. According to the latest updates, the building's superstructure is 99% complete, and its grand opening is scheduled for next year. While Dubai is busy constructing the tallest hotel, Japan is fighting a different crisis. One of its airports is sinking into the sea. We are talking about the Kansai Airport near Osaka Bay. The airport serves as a gateway to Kansai Province, the second largest metropolitan area in Japan. However, there are 2 problems with this airport. First, it is sinking, and second, it's reaching its peak capacity. The first problem seems to be more urgent, as the second one won't exist if the airport doesn't. If the sinking doesn't stop, certain sections of the airport will be submerged by 2056. As a result, Kansai Airport is undergoing a $1 billion renovation. This renovation is aimed at strengthening its foundations and also increasing its capacity. But before we address the renovation, it's important to understand why Japan built a floating airport. In the 1960s, Kansai Province faced a decline in business compared to Tokyo. To promote regional connectivity and business, a new airport was proposed south of Osaka Bay. The existing Atami Airport was unable to accommodate further expansion due to human population in its vicinity. So the only option left was to build a floating airport. Building on the sea offers an unlimited amount of space and fewer disturbances to residential areas. The proposed plan involved the creation of 2 artificial islands, measuring 4 kilometers in length and 2 kilometers in width. This was done by dumping 180 million cubic meters of rock and soil on the seabed. Since Kansai Airport is located near the Pacific Ring of Fire, it is at constant risk of floods and typhoons. However, the airport quickly proved that it could survive natural disasters. When Japan was struck by an earthquake in 1995, the airport managed to pull through. In 1998, it survived a typhoon as well. The engineers predicted that negligible sinking was inevitable, as the weight of the airport would push onto the soil. They expected that the airport would sink by 5.7 meters by the time of its opening. Instead, it had already sunk by 11.5 meters. This was a worrisome trend as the airport was now vulnerable to natural disasters. In 2018, Japan was struck by the worst typhoon in 25 years. Kansai Airport was completely flooded and 5,000 passengers were left stranded. This was a wake-up call for Japan regarding the Kansai situation. Japan spent $150 million in raising and solidifying the seawall surrounding the airport. The hydraulic jacks supporting the airport are also adjusted every 2 years. While the Kansai Airport is free from any immediate danger, its long-term stability is still debatable. For the time being, Kansai is being expanded to accommodate 40 million passengers annually. Its terminal layout is being reorganized, and a third runway is being added to handle more aircrafts. The retail area will see a 60% expansion, including 7 retail shops, a duty-free store, and 9 boutiques. High-end stores like Dior, Chanel, and Hermes will grace the retail area. The airport's grand opening is scheduled for 2025. This timeline coincides with the upcoming Osaka Kansai Expo, which will take place from April 13th to October 13th in the same year. Next up, we have a $4 billion resort entirely dedicated to gaming. And no, it's not in Vegas. In fact, it's in UAE. This resort is built on 4 islands off the coast of Ras Al Khaimah. The island is named Wynn Marjon Island after its parent company, Wynn Resorts. This company is synonymous with Las Vegas as it operates several hotels and casinos in that city. Wynn Island will mark the company's first venture in the Middle East. Covering an area of 62 hectares, the island will offer exceptional entertainment and gaming amenities. The centerpiece of this island is a resort overlooking the waters of the Arabian Gulf. Wynn Resort will boast 1,500 rooms and suites and 22 villa estates on the marina. The casino will span 18,000 square meters, making it one of the largest in the world, double the size of Wynn in Las Vegas. Within the resort, there would be 22 dining, lounge, and bar venues awaiting the guests. 15,000 square meters of space is reserved for a shopping esplanade with luxury boutiques, a 5-star spa, and a salon. Additionally, there will be space designed for meetings, conventions, and special celebrations. Outdoor event terraces and lawns will also be available for gatherings and events. The design of the island takes its inspiration from the natural landscape surrounding the resort and the aesthetic of the resort itself. Guests can enjoy an extensive poolscape next to the beach with multiple swimming pools, water features, cabanas, and tropical landscaping. The 300-meter tower will top off late in 2025, while the final resort will open to the public in 2027. Our next 3 projects are related to improving travel and connectivity in different sections of America. The first one is a bridge connecting the U.S. with Canada. It's called the Gordy How Bridge, and it's the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America and the 10th longest worldwide. The bridge spans 2.5 kilometers, linking Detroit City in the U.S. with Windsor in Canada. Every year, $2 billion worth of goods move between the 2 countries. A third of this trade occurs through the Detroit-Windsor border. If you want to travel from Detroit to Windsor or vice versa, you first have to cross the Detroit River. This river forms a 4-kilometer gap between these 2 regions. Over the years, many projects have tried to bridge this gap. For example, the Michigan Central Railway was introduced in 1910 to connect both nations. Before the railways, people had to rely on ferries that were expensive, had limited capacity, and were quite slow. Closely following the railway's success was the Ambassador Bridge. At the time of its opening in 1930, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world. To this date, the Ambassador Bridge is the only possible route for trucks traveling between Detroit and Windsor. This makes it a major bottleneck in global trade and passenger mobility. Not to mention, the Ambassador's private ownership allows for higher tolls and unannounced rate increases. The Gordy How Bridge will solve this problem by providing a reliable and cheaper alternative. It's estimated that around 10,000 to 15,000 vehicles will use the bridge daily. This translates to around 4 million to 5 million vehicles annually. Tolls won't be charged on the U.S. side of the bridge, making it an economical option for all. Its main span will feature 6 lanes, 3 heading to the U.S. and 3 for crossing into Canada. There's also room for adding 2 additional lanes if the need arises in the future. Being a suspension bridge, its weight is supported by 2 A-shaped towers rising up to 200 meters. These massive towers are linked with 200 cables that hold up the bridge's deck. If you lay all these cables end to end, they could reach a length of 5,000 kilometers. Despite being a binational project, the project's entire cost is covered by the Canadian government. That's why only Canada is entitled to charge tolls on its side. Gordie How will cost a staggering 6.4 billion Canadian dollars. According to reports, Canada will earn around $70 million annually from tolls. The bridge is named after the Canadian ice hockey player Gordy How, who played 25 years for the Detroit Red Wings. The bridge was built in segments from both sides of the border. In July of 2024, both spans were connected by adding the middle portion. This marked the completion of the main structure of the bridge. Due to the pandemic, the bridge's opening was delayed by 10 months and has now shifted to September of 2025. Much like the Gordy How Bridge, the Gateway Program is another American transport project. It's a railway initiative aimed at improving the Northeast corridor between Newark, New Jersey, and New York City. This corridor is the most heavily used rail line in the U.S., carrying around 1 million people daily. It serves a region that contributes 20% of the GDP and is home to at least 100 Fortune 500 companies. The Gateway Program will add 2 additional rail tracks between these 3 locations. Currently, this 10-mile section only has 2 tracks. Here's a quick review of what this project means for the American public. A new tunnel would be created under the Hudson River, while the existing North River Tunnel would be rehabilitated. Currently, the North River Tunnel is the only passenger rail link between Manhattan and New Jersey. It was built a century ago and is already operating at its peak capacity. 24 trains pass this tunnel every hour. In 2012, the United States was hit by Superstorm Sandy. This hurricane also hit the aging tunnel, and millions of gallons of floodwater rushed inside. Both tracks were completely flooded. So in addition to fixing the tunnel, a few additional changes are being made to the Northeast Corridor. New tracks and platforms will be installed at New York Penn Station, including the complete rehaul of the station itself. The Penn Station is the busiest railway station in North America. Surprisingly, this station only has 2 tracks between Newark and New York City. Under the Gateway Program, 9 additional tracks will be added, and the station will be extended southward. The Portal Bridge over the Hackensack River is also due for replacement. Much like the North River Tunnel, this bridge is more than 100 years old. Due to its swing span design, it fails to close properly after opening. It would be replaced by a new fixed span bridge. This bridge would be 53 feet above the water, allowing maritime traffic to pass easily underneath. Its first track is expected to be operational by March 2026, while the entire Gateway project will be completed by 2035. Current estimates show that the project will cost $16 billion, but the price may go up with inflation. While the U.S. is spending big bucks to improve local travel, its international travel needs attention too. Recently, the John F. Kennedy Airport was voted the 8th worst airport in the country. This is surprising because JFK is a globally known airport with 60 million passengers using it each year. In addition, it serves New York City, one of the most important business hubs in the world. The problem with JFK is not a simple one. In addition to the obvious congestion issue, its terminal layout is a bit of a mess. The airport has 5 active passenger terminals, numbered 1, 4, 5, 7, and 8. If this numbering wasn't confusing enough, the layout is even worse. The terminals are not centrally located, making it a challenge for passengers to navigate between them, especially during layovers. Unlike other airports, all 5 of these terminals operate independently by the airline itself. For example, Terminal 5 mainly serves JetBlue, and Terminal 7 is operated by British Airways. The thing with these terminals is that they were built during different years. That's why each terminal has a different design, passenger capacity, and efficiency. It's quite clear that JFK requires a complete makeover. The $19 billion renovation will result in new terminal complexes on both the south and north sides of the airport. To the south, Terminal 1 will be replaced with a new Terminal 1, which will have 23 gates. This new terminal will cover an area of 2.7 million square feet, making it the largest terminal upon completion. It's designed to accommodate larger aircraft, including the Airbus A380. On the north side, a new Terminal 6 is under construction that would connect seamlessly with Terminal 5. Terminal 6 will have 12 international gates across a 2-level concourse. There will be a giant new check-in space with centralized security, which means travelers won't have to drag their luggage too far. To ensure easy access to all terminals, the entire road network is being redesigned. This includes the reduction of roadway loops from 5 to 2 main loops for easier navigation. There are different deadlines for different aspects of the project. The whole airport will take shape by the end of this decade. Next up, we have a $40 billion city entirely dedicated to sports and amusement parks. Saudi Arabia is building a theme park 3 times the size of Disneyland in America. This project is called Qiddiya, located 45 kilometers from Riyadh City. The project is divided into many sections, each offering a different experience. There's a flagship theme park that features 28 rides, including the world's tallest, fastest, and longest roller coaster. In addition, this park has 4 more record-breaking rides. This includes the world's tallest pendulum ride, the tallest tower shot ride, a triple launcher roller coaster, and much more. There's also a Dragon Ball theme park with 30-plus rides and a water park known as Aquarabia. It's possible that, in the future, Saudi Arabia will be able to host the FIFA World Cup just like Qatar did. So keeping that goal in mind, they built a stadium named after the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The Mohammed bin Salman Stadium would be a perfect venue for local and international matches. Within the city, there's also a speed park for hosting Formula One events. Its racetrack was designed by former Formula One driver Alex Wirtz and German designer Hermann Tilke. The park will host various activities such as karting, driving experiences, and passenger rides, making it accessible for both seasoned drivers and newcomers. Qiddiya aims to attract 48 million visitors annually and contribute $36 billion to the GDP. This project is part of Saudi Arabia's vision for 2030 to expand its non-oil resources. With spectacular projects like these, hosting the Olympics doesn't seem like a distant dream for Saudi anymore. But hold on to that thought for a second. Preparing for the Olympics is no easy task. The host country has a lot to prepare in advance, just like France did for its 2024 Olympics. In this case, Paris had to nearly double its metro. The Paris metro system was built in the 1900s and now carries 4 million passengers every day. For those who lived in the city's outer suburbs, traveling to the city center was difficult. With the growing population and increasing congestion, the Paris metro system was failing its public. To bridge the gap between demand and supply, the French government announced the Grand Paris Express. This project will nearly double the metro system by adding 200 kilometers of track and 68 stations. The new project will introduce 4 new lines, lines 15, 16, 17, and 18, plus extensions to existing lines 11 and 14. On the map, it looks like multiple rings intersecting with each other. The new metro will offer connections with the existing transport system, so it will be an alternative option to cars for daily commutes. In the long run, the initiative will take out 14 million tons of carbon emissions from the atmosphere. The 4 new lines have different opening dates and will enter service in stages. Grand Paris Express is expected to be completed by the end of 2030. Another railway project that will be completed around the same time is California's high-speed railway. This is an ambitious project that will connect San Francisco with Los Angeles under a 3-hour drive. Trains are expected to operate at a speed of 350 kilometers per hour to save time for commuters. Phase 1 will connect San Francisco to the greater Los Angeles area through the Central Valley, while Phase 2 will extend the rail network to Sacramento in the north and San Diego in the south. However, there's one problem with the project. The California High-Speed Rail is a publicly funded project authorized by a statewide ballot in 2008. At the time, it was expected that the project would be operational by 2020 and cost around $33 billion in total. Officials now estimate it could cost about $35 billion just to finish the first line from Bakersfield to Merced. An additional $100 billion is required to complete the route from Los Angeles to San Francisco. And this is just the bill for Phase 1. Phase 2 would require even more money. The Railway Authority hopes to secure private investments to complete the project. As of now, the project is a decade behind schedule and its first segment is expected to be operational by 2030. Phase 2 is still in the planning stage and will require more time for execution. If you like the video so far, kindly take a moment to subscribe to our channel. We bring the latest news in the construction industry with 2 new videos each week. If there are any topics you want us to cover, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let's turn our attention to projects in Asia, particularly China. We know that China is no stranger to solving its problems through innovation. One persistent problem that bothers the country is its lack of water in the northern region. The major rivers of the country, like the Yangtze or the famous Yellow River, are restricted to its southern region. Northern China has long been a center of population, industry, and agriculture. In fact, the Chinese capital, Beijing, is also located in the north. With the rapidly expanding population and industries, water scarcity became an urgent issue. So as early as 1952, Chairman Mao Zedong proposed a solution. He said, "There's plenty of water in the south, not much water in the north. If possible, borrowing some water would be good." 50 years afterward, China launched the South-North Water Transfer Project. It will take nearly 50 years to complete and a staggering $62 billion investment. As the name reveals, this project would divert 45 billion cubic meters of water from the south to the north. The work will link China's 4 main rivers, the Yangtze, Yellow River, Huaihe, and Haihe. The extracted water will be fed to the north via 3 routes, the central, eastern, and western route. Each route utilizes a network of canals, reservoirs, and lakes that facilitate movement of water from south to north. It may sound quite simple, but it's not. Moving millions of cubic meters of water through hundreds of kilometers is tough. China achieved this through a combination of pumping stations and natural gravity to transfer the water. The eastern and central routes are already complete, while the western route is still in the planning stages. Building the western part would be the most challenging route out of all. It involves building dams and hundreds of kilometers of tunnels through the mountains of the Bangla region. The area is also prone to earthquakes that can impact its construction. Upon completion in 2050, the project will bring 4 billion cubic meters of water from 3 tributaries of the Yangtze River. It's now time to discuss the 2 most expensive projects on our list. Both of them are located in the Tabuk province of Saudi Arabia and were launched together in 2017. The first one is the Red Sea project, located on the west coast of Saudi Arabia. Coming at a cost of $500 billion, it's set to feature 22 island destinations. In fact, Saudi Arabia even used Cristiano Ronaldo to promote this very project. The Red Sea area is both an ecological and business-sensitive zone. The area boasts the world's 4th largest barrier reef, dormant volcanoes, desert dunes, and cultural heritage sites. This region also hosts an archipelago of 90 islands, home to beautiful wildlife. On the business side, 13% of the world trade occurs through the Red Sea, making it a crucial business link. Saudi Arabia quickly realized the potential of this region and used it to launch 2 of its most ambitious projects. In total, the Red Sea project will offer 50 resorts with 8,000 rooms and more than 1,000 residential properties. Out of the 90 islands, 22 will be turned into a tourist spot. Of all the destinations, Shura Island will be the main hub of the Red Sea project. This island is naturally shaped like a dolphin and will offer a series of lagoons and beaches. It will host 11 resorts from brands like Hyatt, Fairmont, and Intercontinental. In addition, there will be an 11-hole golf course, a luxury marina, and a clubhouse. Next up, we have the Ummahat Islands. This island is home to 2 of the most exclusive resorts, St. Regis Resort, which opened earlier this year, and a Ritz-Carlton Reserve. This particular Ritz-Carlton hotel became the most expensive in the Middle East, with per-night charges of $3,000. It offers 63 villas each, with a private swimming pool of its own. To increase accessibility to the Red Sea project, Saudi Arabia is building the Red Sea International Airport. This airport is situated 20 kilometers away and is set to be fully operational next year. However, some sites such as the Ummahat Islands are only accessible via yachts and seaplanes. By the end of 2025, 11 more hotels are scheduled to open up. The entire project aims to be operational by the end of this decade. Our last and most expensive project is Neom. This is a $1.5 trillion project, roughly the size of Belgium. We have made an exclusive video about this on our channel, so if you're interested, you can click on the I button to watch it. As mentioned earlier, this project is also situated in the Tabuk province, bordered by the Red Sea. Basically, Neom is a mega city with several distinct regions. For example, it will have a business district called Octagon. This is an octagon-shaped floating city with plans to accommodate robotics, automation, and AI industries. Due to its strategic location in the Red Sea, the area will also serve as a port for global shipping lanes. The main attraction of Neom is a linear city called The Line. It's made to accommodate 9 million residents sandwiched between two glass walls. The Line claims to have no cars and no roads, as everything will be available within a 5-minute walk. In addition to business and residents, there are a lot of entertainment options at Neom too. One of them is Trojena, a world-class ski resort for winter sports. It will offer 36 kilometers of ski slopes with more than 100 indoor and outdoor activities. The centerpiece would be a 300-meter skyscraper designed by Zaha Hadid Architects. Another leisure location within Neom is Sindalah. It's the first location within the project to open its door to the public. Sindalah is an island on the Red Sea that offers yacht clubs, a U-shaped marina, and 3 hotels. This place is just 17 hours away by boat from most Mediterranean yachting destinations. Sindalah will be an easy access for small boats as well as super yachts. According to reports, Sindalah is scheduled to open this year. The rest of Neom will hopefully be complete by 2030. What do you think of these projects? Which one was your favorite so far? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we will catch up in the next video.